This is Up for Debate, episode number 257, recorded June 22nd, 2023. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Up for Debate, the debate podcast where the two hosts agree on everything. I'm Sean, and I'm always joined by a man who gets the big soda with his popcorn at the theater. It's Matt Mariani. Hello, Matt.
I am notorious for getting the big soda with the
The
popcorn.
big soda.
Did you ever notice that like all soda is big soda at the movie theater now? Like
Yeah,
I don't know. At least maybe it's
someone's
just
got to
mine.
explain
But
to me. You're right. There's no smalls.
no,
But that's got to be because it's so expensive. They have to trick you into. Do you know? I mean, this is actually a true fact. Do you know what food item McDonald's makes the most money on? Spoiler alert: it's the soda, because the margins are so huge. It's basically just water and a penny of syrup. So it makes sense. You can give them the most ridiculous sized cup on the planet, and it doesn't matter.
this might be dating our episode. But the speaking of McDonald's, have you tried Grimace's birthday shake?
Oh, I thought you were going to say they had McDonald's in the doomed submarine, which is also going to date this episode. No, Matt, I actually have not had a chance to try the Grimace's shake. I've heard some mixed things.
I am planning to try it tomorrow. I will report back. I haven't really been to a McDonald's in a long time. I'm kind of happy to report. I just don't. It doesn't really. I don't cross paths enough with them, with the McDonald's. Not nearly as much as I used to.
No, they don't do the gimmicky food as much as they used to. The menu is just kind of always the same, which is kind of
Yeah.
I love the restaurants. I live in an area which is a Dunkin' Donuts test market. So we get Dunkin' Donuts items around here when they test them, and sometimes they never go national. Like sometimes you'll only ever see them here, and it's always changing. So I'm a little spoiled. They have new wraps at Dunkin' Donuts now. I haven't tried them yet, but I am a sucker for the like limited time only experimental, hey, try this here food.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I just really enjoy other. If I ever go for the fast food, which isn't really often these days, but if it ever is, I just choose other options. I don't know, more Wendy's or Popeyes.
Thai
or
food.
Thai food is always great. Yeah, Thai curry. Wish that they had a fast food Thai place. If I don't know, if such thing exists. I don't know.
A drive-through Thai place.
Yeah,
I mean, Panda Express exists. It's not the
does.
same, but they could do it.
Sean, you think that dinosaurs would have enjoyed Thai food?
I think dinosaurs would have been racist.
Do you think that dinosaurs would have?
I think they would have hated Thailand and the Thai people.
Food? Wow,
Absolutely. But
do you
literally, science has no way to know.
Yeah. Do you think that dinosaurs would have been good? Would have been good. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. Do you think that dinosaurs would have been good at making Thai food? I don't know.
I was going to say, do you think dinosaurs would be good cooked into Thai food?
Do you think dinosaurs are in good movies?
I don't know, Matt. We're here to find out because last week we picked our summer reading list, and tonight we are picking our blockbuster summer movie film collection. Now, for the last couple summers, we have watched a collection of films. We did movies based on video games. We did the Fast and the Furious movies. We've done Rocky. We've done James Bond. This summer is no exception, Matt. Tonight we're going to pitch each other concepts for collections of films that we can watch over the course of this summer, usually with some kind of theme. Now, Matt, you're already hinting at your first theme. Before we do that, though, I am going to suggest one thing for tonight. We'll go back and forth, trade ideas. As we go through, I'm going to ask that we score each idea on the 1 to 10 scale of interest. And by interest, I mean, I don't want us to rate these on whether they're good movies, whether they'll be fun for the show, just how much you or I want to watch the movies. I'm doing this because Fast and the Furious was a goddamn slog. And so we're not beholden to these scores. We're not automatically picking the highest, but I think this will help us whittle down the list as we go through the evening. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, very good.
Um,
Well, Matt, you sound like you're ready to pitch first. What's on your list?
Dinosaurs, Sean. Dino
Oh my
DNA.
god.
Dinosaur movies. I've got here a list of some dinosaur movies that we could watch for our summer set of films. You want me to go through the list?
Yeah, please. I mean, there've been so many films made with dinosaurs. I don't know how you could even narrow it down.
So I tried to. The way I worked this was I tried to um, not rely on Jurassic Park at all. But
Smart.
now Jurassic Park happens to be one of, if not my favorite movie of all time. I love
I've never
the
seen it.
original Jurassic Park. You've never seen it. Perfect. I think that um I think we would have a lot to talk about. I could make videos about the film. I like it that
Okay.
much. I'm really interested in the cinematography, the writing. Love the movie. One of the like most influential movies on me as a kid was the original Jurassic Park. Um Also read the book by James Crichton, so we could even do maybe a book tie-in at some point. Um but that would be our stepping stone. I haven't decided if we would watch, I guess because you've never seen any Jurassic Park, right? You've never seen any of the films in the
Correct.
franchise. We would start with the first one. The Lost World is also worth, I think, discussing. So we would start with the first Jurassic Park movie. Then I've got another classic, followed up 90s classic with another 90s classic, this time animated, with The Land Before Time, right? Animated, not
Sad
Disney,
children's film.
DreamWorks classic.
No, that was
Very
I think
sad.
was that Don Bluth?
It
Uh,
was.
it was
It
Amblin.
was
Oh, it was Spielberg. It was Amblimation. I can never say it. It was his Amblin animators, wasn't it? Amblimation.
yes,
Oh, it was Don
Amblimation.
Bluth. It was Don Bluth. Don Bluth, who also made An
Don
American
Bluth,
Tail,
Judy
All Dogs Go
Freudberg,
to
and
Heaven.
yeah, Universal. Okay,
Iconic
so
animator.
executive produced by George Lucas and Steven Spielberg. Yeah. Um, there were 13 of them. Wow, a lot of Land Before Time.
That's
Um,
arguably too many.
many. Uh, so we would do Jurassic Park, we do Land Before Time. Then we would go from 90s animated classic to something a little more modern. I watch Pixar's The Good Dinosaur. Now that one's the optional one. I put a kind of an asterisk on that one because we could take that or leave that. I've seen it; it's pretty good. But I don't know if we would have. There's a lot of meat on that bone. If we don't do the Good Dinosaur, we could also do another little known classic from the 90s, an animated movie called We're Back, a Dinosaur
Ah,
Story, where
yes.
the dinosaurs travel through time. I remember seeing that as a kid at some point, like maybe rented from Blockbuster. I used to love that
I
movie.
think that
So,
was also an Amblin Steven Spielberg production. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, it
sure.
was Amblin. Yeah, this was Steven Spielberg as well. He just really loved dinosaurs.
Yeah. And the 90s were, for whatever reason, an amazing time for dinosaurs. We're Back stars John Goodman as Rex, uh, Jay Leno, Martin Short, Rhea Perlman.
A who's who of 1993. Walter
Really
Cronkite does a
is.
voice.
Mm-hmm. Um, yeah, so this one is the film is based on a 1987 children's book. it seems. Julia Child, Walter Cronkite.
Bizarre.
Yeah. And then capping off our series is a dinosaur movie that I came across. I've never seen it before. Came across on a list of dinosaur movies to watch that aren't Jurassic Park. That was the name of the list. Was dinosaur movies to watch that aren't Jurassic Park, right?
Can I take a guess?
I would love for you to guess. Yes, please do, because I don't think you're going to get
it. Is it Disney's Dinosaur?
It is not. That
Okay.
That's an option though. We could sub out The Good Dinosaur for that. I'm going to put that as a potential.
Well, the only reason that was Disney's first CGI film.
That's right.
3D animated film they ever made. No, okay, so it's not Disney's.
I think both of those movies are kind of lukewarm. We could watch either one of them. But
They're
I'll put
very
that on the
lukewarm.
list too.
Matt, what's the film? You got me baffled now.
I don't think you're gonna get it. It's I'm going to tell you the description first, and then I'm going to tell you the name of the film. Okay?
Okay, maybe I can figure this out.
Okay. See if you can get. Okay, here's from Rotten Tomatoes. Wait, I found a really good description. Yeah, okay. Here it is. Okay. From IMDb. After losing his parents, a priest travels to China, where he inherits a mysterious... Velocipaster, you got it.
Yes! Yes, I've actually heard of this film.
He inherits a mysterious ability that allows him to turn into a dinosaur. At first horrified by this new power, a hooker convinces him to use it to fight crime and ninjas.
Not opposed. I've never seen it. I think I saw the trailer. Yeah, I'm not opposed. That sounds wild.
Velocipaster. I put that on there as our grand finale of the dinosaur list. I don't know. So that's my list. That's my dinosaur list right there.
It's a great collection. It's a great collection. I love it. I don't need to pitch any more into your collection, though I can think of a few other dinosaur movies that could potentially be quite humorous. But yeah, I think it's a great theme, Matt. Very well. Where would you put this on your interest scale?
I think I started pretty strong. I would say this is probably the one that I'm most invested in. Usually I try to save the best for last, but I was excited to talk about the dinosaur list. I put it first and foremost. So I'd say pretty high up on that list.
So like a 9 or a 10?
I'd say 9 or 10. It's up there. I'm going to go
I'd
for
put
the
it
full
at a 7.
Yeah.
You're going to go for the full 10. I'll do a 7. I'm interested.
Okay.
So, very nice. Good start, Matt.
Cool.
Very nice.
What do you got for us, Sean?
Yeah, so I've got 10 here on my list. So I'll pick one in no particular order. Actually, I'm going to start with this one, Matt, because it's a sequel to last summer. It's Video Game Movies Part 2. We watched the sort of beginning of video game movies. We're going to move into the modern era with these 6 films in chronological order, starting with Mark Wahlberg's Max Payne, Jake Gyllenhaal's Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time, which I wrote in my notes as Price of Persia, and that's very different. Followed by what's the guy's name? Aaron
Sorkin.
No, from Breaking Bad.
Oh,
Aaron Paul? No, that's not right. He's the other guy.
Not Aaron Rodgers.
Why can't I think of his name?
Aaron Paul. Yeah, Jesse.
Oh, it is Aaron Paul. Okay. Aaron Paul's Need for Speed, the movie. We've got Warcraft. I think maybe still, or for a long time, was the highest grossing movie ever in China. We have Assassin's Creed with Michael Fassbender. And then we have another Mark Wahlberg with Uncharted, the most recent on the list here. Now, I purposefully didn't include animated films like Sonic the Hedgehog or even the somewhat animated Detective Pikachu. I focused on live action. And I also focused on non-remakes. There's since been the Mortal Kombat remake. We watched the original. I didn't include it. These are really focused on original properties, continuing to show the progression of how video game movies have changed over time. Most of these, if not, actually, I will argue, all of these are bad.
Well, what the first thing that came to mind was when we did the first list. If you remember, there was a couple of pleasant surprises on there. None the more stood out than Doom. The was it the Doom movie that was like?
Yeah, that was great.
Was it the Doom movie? It was,
Yeah,
right?
it was
that
Doom. We liked Doom.
Actually turned out to be great. Yeah.
Yeah.
With it had Vin Diesel, right? Or is it no, The Rock? It had The Rock in it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Doom movie was pretty good. And of course it was fun to laugh at the Tomb Raider movie, and so that was a good time.
We like Street Fighter. We thought was a lot of fun with Jean-Claude Van Damme. We had a good time.
Yeah. That was dope. So I think that this could be a potential. What would you give it? What would you rate it?
On one hand, I like the idea of continuing what we started last summer, but on the other hand, all of these movies seem bad. So my excitement level's not overwhelming. This is probably like a 6 for me.
Okay. Yeah, I would go. Honestly, I would go probably an 8. I would say this would be an 8 because I love the idea, and I love that it's we're just kind of making it more contemporary, taking the movies we saw last year and updating like more recently. Yeah, I think this could be a good one.
Very cool. All right. Well, how about you got another one, Matt?
I do, Sean. I do. Tell me. America's pastime. The great game of baseball.
High lie. Okay, no.
Yeah.
Baseball. I said that.
I've got some baseball movies here.
Love it.
And I'm not I think this list, you might find some of them interesting. I tried to make them a little contemporary or like fun. They're not like your average, your usual baseball movies, I guess. Like they're I put Moneyball on here.
Nice.
I put Bull Durham, which is a baseball comedy, kind of in a similar vein, sort of like Smoking Gun, or I'm sorry, The Naked Gun, or Airplane. It's kind of similar to that, I guess. A little less slapsticky, but the jokes are very silly, very boyish. I put Bad News Bears, another baseball comedy, on there. And I figured we would close it out with I tried to see if they had the Iowa Baseball Confederacy. But that was never turned into a movie. No.
What a shame. We got to buy the rights.
We do. We should.
How would you even make that in? Let's be real. How would you even make that into a movie?
Oh, I'm sure they would find a way.
It would unmakeable. That it would have to be like a Netflix multi-part or HBO limited series. I don't think you could do it in a single movie.
That's what I mean.
8 episodes.
It couldn't be a movie. Yeah, the format I think would definitely be more like HBO. It'd be a lot of, you need a lot of you need a whole animation team to do the time traveling and the storm parts but I don't know. I think it would be a home run, is what I think.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
Matt, I think that's fun. I haven't seen any of those movies. I will ask though, if we choose this, there is one movie I would like to add to the list for us to watch.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the film Ed?
I am not.
That's not surprising. Ed is a 1996 comedy film starring America's favorite Matt LeBlanc and a baseball-playing chimpanzee. It currently has a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes and has arguably been called the worst sports movie ever made. And I think it would be great to watch.
That is going right at the top of the list, Sean. Okay, it's on there. It is on there. Wow, I've never seen rated 0 on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't know if I've ever seen that, or you don't see it often. That's for sure.
Actually, believe it or not, Matt, that was actually going to be one of my pitches for tonight was Rotten Tomatoes 0% films, but it was so dreadful, I could not do that to my friend and make you watch them. So I ditched that idea. There are some, and there are names on there you've heard of, and it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, I think it would be a hoot to watch it.
Wow.
Yeah, this is, I think Gotti with John Travolta is one of them. Which is supposed to be very funny. So, anyway, I think that's a fun idea, Matt. I agree. I think I would score that as a 6. What about you?
Yeah, I'd probably go about a 6 on this. I think 6 or 7, 6.5. I'll probably go to like a 6. Yeah, it's the movies. I tried to pull a lot of like the more like comical baseball movies, but I feel like this could get tedious. They could get kind of like over. Like I could watch those video game movies every week, but baseball movie
there's
after
not a lot of variety
movie.
in the baseball. Yeah, it's a lot of similar concepts.
Although I think Bull Durham is one of my favorites out there. But yeah, I'd probably go about a 6 on this.
All right, fair enough. Well, Matt, I have a concept list for you. It's a semi-sequel to a movie franchise we've already done. Because, and I don't know if you know this, Matt, Vin Diesel makes movies that aren't the Fast and the Furious. I'm proposing The Summer of Diesel, where we're going to watch all of the non-Fast and Furious Vin Diesel movies. I'm talking about Pitch Black, the first Riddick movie. The Chronicles of Riddick, the second Riddick movie. Riddick, the third Riddick movie. We're talking Triple X and Triple X, the return of Xander Cage. We're talking The Pacifier, the one kids movie he made, and his latest, Bloodshot, the one that was released during the pandemic that was supposed to kick off a franchise that never did, Matt. It's Vin Diesel without any of the fun car parts.
America's favorite talking gravel pit.
Yes.
Vin Diesel.
No, you.
You can't mess with family.
Family. Call me out all the time.
Comes first.
I'm Triple X.
Family is.
Yes. Have you seen? I have seen the first Triple X out of this list. I don't think I've seen any of the others.
I have not. I've only seen the trailers, and I remember the trailers used to be on all the time. But I've only trailers.
Yeah, they're relatively ridiculous. I've not seen any of the Riddick movies, but it is interesting that they made 3 of them, and I believe he's trying to make a 4th, which is kind of crazy. So I don't know, Matt. Have you had enough Vin Diesel, or are you interested in more?
I don't think there's such a thing as enough Vin Diesel, Sean. I would be ready for some more. My only concern is that a lot of those films come from the same franchise, the Chronicles of Riddick.
Yep.
But that's not necessarily a bad thing, because we've look at our successes with franchises before, like Fast and the Furious and Rocky, James Bond, where if anything,
we might learn a lot about Riddick.
Kind of our thing. We would learn a lot about Riddick and his chronicles. So I'm not against it. I'm definitely not against Vin either. If we were going to marry up to one actor this summer, we could do a lot worse, I think. We could definitely do a lot worse.
Yeah, he's the only singular actor I have a list around. He's that powerful. Where would you rate The Summer of Diesel?
I would put The Summer of Diesel... Probably put it like a 7.
Okay.
Solid 7.
I'd put it at a 5.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm pretty neutral on it. I think it could be entertaining, but again, after my lack of interest in the Fast and the Furious films, I'm concerned that it would get old very quickly. So fair enough. Matt, what about what else is on your list?
Oh, Sean. Um, Next up on my list, if I had more energy right now, I would wrap it because next on my list is all movies that are all starring rap artists,
Oh
rap
wow,
and
okay,
hip hop,
that's an interesting idea.
rap and hip hop movies that star rap and hip hop artists. And uh, I would welcome any additions to this list because I know there are a lot more than I was expecting there to be. Um, but so far I've got the 8 Mile, the Eminem movie,
Yep.
uh, Cradle to the Grave starring DMX.
Yep.
I've got Juice starring Tupac. And I've got Straight Outta Compton, which I think is more of like a document, like a reenactment of
Biopic.
the story, yeah, the story of NWA. So, of course, we could also add Biggie to the list. Notorious B.I.G. That movie came out back in 2009. I think it was just called Notorious. So I'll add that one there too. And yeah, so it's movies
Yeah,
with rap.
I'll also, well, maybe he's more of a hip hop guy, but if you're interested, I'd throw in Get Rich or Die Trying, the movie starring Curtis 50 Cent Jackson.
Okay.
Um, there's a category called List of Hood Films on Wikipedia. Did you know this?
Hood films. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what that even means. I think it's very interesting. I have not seen any of those movies. What excites me, what I've enjoyed on the show is when we do things that expose me to things I would normally not watch. And this definitely qualifies for that, I would say. So, yeah, I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting. Like I said, I think we have to come up with a really solid list. I'm sure if anyone out there can think of any that we're not, let us know. Because I'm definitely sure there are others. But yeah, I think that sounds great.
Thought it was something a little different. How would you rank this?
All my scores are like basically the same. I would rate this. I'm going to give this a 6. Where would you rate this one?
I think I'm feeling also like a 6. Feeling also a 6. Although I think this could be fun, but I think it might run into the same trap as the baseball, like kind of samey. A lot of similar settings, similar stories.
See, all right, here's a pitch. Remember this for next year. We should do a summer where every movie is a different music genre. We do one rap movie, we do one country movie, we do one pop movie, we do one jazz movie, and we do a whole summer of music movies.
Summer of music. I like it.
Free idea.
I like it. Then we can get some bluegrass movies, get some jazz movies. Yeah, no, I like that a lot.
A lot of options. All right. Well, good. Well, that's a good one, Matt. Next on my list, again, these are in no particular order. Actually, let's do this. I was going to pick a different one, but since we're talking about music, I had a music theme as well. And that theme was films about fictional bands. Films about fictional bands that don't actually exist. This list includes, in no particular order, That Thing You Do, which I've actually seen and really enjoy. This is Spinal Tap, The Blues Brothers, Josie and the Pussycats, Pop Star, Never Stop, Never Stopping, which is a very funny movie, and The Country Bears, which is a weird movie. So a bit of a different collection, some rock, some pop, different times. but all centered around fictional bands that don't actually exist. A lot of catchy music for sure in these, and I thought they'd certainly give us some variety throughout the summer.
Yeah, that's an idea. That's a fictional bands. I would recommend also we throw in um Josie and the Pussycats.
I said that.
Did you? You did say
I
that. Okay,
did.
good.
That's
Just
actually
making sure.
that might be like a top
Just
10
making
movie of
sure.
all time for me. There's just something
Yeah.
about that movie. I own it on Blu-ray. That's how much I like it.
Perfect. Okay.
That movie I'm a big fan of. Yeah, it's a good. It's definitely a mix. But yeah, that's a fun one, Under the Radar. And the music is great in that. Oh my god, I could spend an hour just talking about how catchy and good the songs they wrote for that are.
Did you mention Daft Punk's movie?
No, I didn't know they
Interstellar.
had a movie. But they're a
Daft
fictional
Punk
band in the movie?
Yeah. The movie is called
Oh.
Interstellar 5555. The story of the secret star system. It's an anime.
Well, there you go. That could have
Yeah.
certainly make. Oh, look at this. An animated
Yeah.
musical science fiction film.
The Crescendolls. That's the name in the movie. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would score this one probably at a 7. What do you say, Matt?
Yeah, I'm pretty fond of this idea. I'm pretty keen on it. I actually would probably also go a 7. Yeah, I'll go 7 as well. Hmm.
Very fun. Very fun. All right, Matt, you got another one on your list?
I do. I've got a character profile or an actor in profile for you. Kind of similar to Vin Diesel, actually, in some ways, some parallels. How would
Daniel
you feel about
Day-Lewis.
the summer of Harrison Ford, but no Star Wars movies, no Indiana Jones movies. So movies Harrison Ford has been in that are not Star Wars or Indiana Jones.
That might be my favorite idea you've pitched so far tonight. There is something about, first of all, anytime you pick an actor and you're like, but it's not their most well-known stuff, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, that's interesting. The other thing that's really interesting is there's so many different collections or genres of movies, but one of the ones that I've never really gotten into is the like 90s, 80s low-budget thriller, where you're like Patriot Games, The Fugitive, Air Force One,
Mhm.
What Lies Beneath. He did a ton of these.
He did.
That I think, not that I'm saying we would do all those, because certainly there's later films like Cowboys and Aliens, and then there's earlier films, of course, like Blade Runner. But I definitely think this could be definitely a lot of movies I haven't seen. Yeah, this is an interesting one.
Yeah, I'll tell you just some of the movies I put on the list here. Going through his work, movies like American Graffiti. I think that was
Yep.
where he got his big start. Sort of. I mean, he was in other stuff before that, but I think the big breakout was his big breakout hit was American Graffiti, 1973.
Oh, definitely.
I put on here also I put Dynasty, which was he made that in 76, right before Star Wars. It looked kind of interesting. Like I don't know, it didn't really get particularly great reviews, so I was iffy on that one. A little bit of an asterisk there, but Blade Runner, of course. I put also Patriot Games, like you mentioned. Gotta watch that. The Fugitive. But I also put on here one of my favorite things that he was in. It's a film called The Frisco Kid. Have you seen The Frisco Kid?
I did not know it existed until I was on his Wikipedia page. This sounds wild.
Yeah, it was a movie he made with Gene Wilder. And It was 1979. So it was like while Star Wars was going on. It was a little bit before Indiana Jones. Um, it's a good movie. I really like the Frisco Kid. So that's on here also. So we got Blade Runner, American Graffiti, Frisco Kid, Call the Wild, Patriot Games, maybe Dynasty, and also I wanted to fast forward the time a little bit to a more recent movie. His most recent movie, besides the upcoming Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, is a movie called The Call of the Wild. Came out in 2020. It's on Disney Plus, and it looks okay. It's based on the book by Jack London, very famous kids book. So that's my pitch for the summer of Ford.
That is highly interesting. Now, I will say before we score it, Matt, another free idea for next year that you caused me to think of: George Lucas movies that aren't Star Wars or Indiana Jones.
Okay.
Because there's definitely some oddball stuff in here. American Graffiti being one of them. But you also have Labyrinth, Howard the Duck, Willow, Radioland Murders, Strange Magic, which was that weird animated movie that came and went. Captain EO, he actually wrote with Michael Jackson, which I think would be interesting to watch. So there was some interesting stuff there. That being said, Matt, I think this is a very fun idea. And I would score this at an 8. What is your score?
Yeah, I think talking it over and looking at these movies kind of convinced me a little more on it. Like sold me more on my own idea. And I think before looking at it, I was probably at a 6. Now I'd say I'm probably at, I could do like a 7 or 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Now I'm going to go in a totally different direction. We're getting as far away from prestige as possible. It's our blockbuster summer, Matt. We got to do big, loud movies. We're talking explosions. We're talking CGI. We're talking toys. That's right, Matt. It's the Hasbro Cinematic Universe. Hasbro, the toy company. Did you know they have a cinematic universe? Absolutely insane. We're talking Transformers. We're talking G.I. Joe. We're talking Battleship. We're talking Ouija. We're talking Gem and the Holograms, which nobody remembers. And we're talking on the plus side, we do get to watch the new Dungeons and Dragons movie because technically they own it. So it's not all failure. Now, Matt, I'm not going to make you watch all the Transformers or all the G.I. Joes. We will only watch the first, but it could be interesting to see how toys become movies that then become toys again that are based on the movies and see how they're interconnected, especially with the new Transformers film.
Whoa.
Am I right? I don't know. I don't want to spoil the new Transformers movie. I don't know if you've seen it. I will spoil a little bit. There's kind of a post-credit sequence. This is 100% true. And after they do all the Transformer shit, at the end they go to a government building and there's like a guy who's been in the movie. He's like, listen, if you want more, you can come with me. And he hands him a business card that says G.I. Joe on it. So they are setting up Transformers G.I. Joe crossover universe. That is 100% true. So it's coming. So we could be on the ground floor.
Okay. Yeah, very timely also. Very timely. I thought the Harrison Ford was timely because he's got that the new indie movie coming up soon, but this is also very time. Those are both of them back to back very timely picks with Dungeons and with the upcoming G.I. Joe tie-in movie. And I still haven't seen, much to my detriment, I still haven't seen the Dungeons and Dragons movie. I haven't watched it, but very high on my list. I would love to watch it for the first time for our channel, for our podcast.
And we might, by the way, if we don't watch it this summer, we might just watch it anyway because I think it would be interesting.
Yeah, I think that would be great. Get the gang back together. Get the game nights gang back together. I think I'll probably give this idea 6. like a solid 6.
That's okay. I'm going to give this a 5. It doesn't sound fun at all. But not all my ideas are winners. So I don't promise these are all good. They're just what came to my mind.
Yeah.
All right, Matt, do you have another on your list?
I am fresh out. Those were all my
No.
categories. So
I overdid
I'm
it
done.
as usual.
I'm tapping out. And
All right.
how many more do you have?
Too many, but here's what I'm going to do. I should save some of these for next summer, so because I won't have any more ideas. So let me think of. I'm just scanning through my list here. I want to do that one. I want to do that one, and that would leave 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm gonna do 2 more.
Okay.
And this next one, I think of all my ideas, I think this is the most Matt Mariani idea that I have. Doesn't mean you'll like it, but I think it slots in well with you. And it's also different than anything we've done before in terms of our movie watching. I was curious, Matt, do you know what the highest box office grossing documentaries are of all time?
Highest grossing.
Now, mind you, these aren't the most popular documentaries ever. These are the ones that made the most money at the box office.
You said box office documentary. I thought you said the highest
Yes.
grossing boxing documentaries, like documentaries about boxing.
Is there even more than one documentary about boxing?
Rocky. Okay. A Raging Bull. I think that was also a boxing movie. But
that's true. You could do a whole collection.
The highest grossing box office documentaries. I would say, I mean, like, maybe just offhand, I'm thinking of like the Michael Moore ones, like your Fahrenheit 9/11, your Sicko, like
you nailed it, Matt. Fahrenheit 9/11,
Really?
highest of all time, the only documentary ever to gross over $100 million at the domestic box office.
Yeah, I felt like that was good timing because it was like right at the start of the internet kind of taking off, early 2000s. You had like you couldn't just download. I guess you could download the whole thing online, but it wasn't as like common to do that yet. And there was also no streaming.
Well, and it was
services.
2000.
It was still a paper.
It was 2004, so it was right when Bush was being reelected. So yes. I think that was also part of it as well.
Oh yeah, of course. And the election. So what is your pitch?
So Matt, we're gonna do the highest grossing documentaries. It's an oddball collection, a bunch of different films which I'm excited about, some of which I've seen, some of which I haven't. You've got Fahrenheit 9/11, you've got March of the Penguins, which was surprisingly huge. You have Justin Bieber, Never Say Never, the concert film. You have This Is It, the Michael Jackson film that came out right after his death. You have Won't You Be My Neighbor, which is the Mr. Rogers documentary. And maybe the finale and the one I'm most excited about, believe it or not, what number is it here? The 6th highest grossing documentary of all time is a film called 2016, Obama's America. And it was a film released during the 2012 election that predicted how bad things would be if Obama was reelected, what America would look like will there even be a 2016, which I think would be hilarious to watch today.
Ooh, that would be, I really would like to see the narrative. The narrative take on that one would just be spicy. That'd be a spicy flick.
Oh, very for sure. Spicy. And the fact it's one of the highest grossing, it's like, we got to learn about it. So there's a mix, right? You got your nature, you've got your concert, you've got your political, it's a bunch of different stuff, but it's all documentaries.
Cool. Okay. I think I could, I could throw like a 7, I think. Put a 7 on there. Because I like the variety.
Fair enough.
I like the variety, yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably a 7 as well. I think it's interesting. And Matt, my final pitch of the night, we have yet to pitch an actual film franchise These are all collections of films. So I'm here to pitch an actual film franchise. And when I think big blockbuster, over time, very similar to Bond, different directors, but always action and excitement. You know what I'm going to say?
Harry Potter.
Absolutely not. You could not pay me to watch those films. No, Matt.
I know you love the Harry Potter.
Also, who describes Harry Potter as edge of your seat action?
You're right. I think we're gonna watch Twilight, aren't we?
Matt, everyone's favorite. Actually, you know what? I do think put that down for next year as well. I do think it would be very funny. We need to do it like a double feature summer where it's like Twilight and Hunger Games,
and we're just
going to watch them all and
and do like a retrospective now that like a lot of time has passed.
Yeah, were we wrong? The answer is no. Matt, I'm talking about the original spy thriller Mission Impossible.
Ooh, Mission Impossible.
We're talking Mission Impossible. Now, again, as I said, a series of different directors, at least for the first couple of films. Mission Impossible 1, Brian De Palma. You got Mission Impossible 2 with John Woo. Mission Impossible 3 with J.J. Abrams. And Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol with Brad Bird. Then Rogue Nation and Fallout with Christopher McQuarrie. Of course, all starring Thomas J. Crucifer, who did all these films. I have seen the first one and enjoyed it, but I have not seen any of the others. I thought this is exciting action. We can talk about Tom Cruise getting old as the movies go on. Ving Rhames is in it. I think the downside, my fear is, will this be another Fast and Furious by the sixth one where I'm like, I've already seen this movie before and please don't make me watch another. But then again, Matt, you've proven on the show before you like to torture me, so maybe that's encouraging.
Yeah. What are my thoughts about this? I guess, I would like to see. I'd like to see these movies. Like, I really haven't seen any Mission Impossible. I'm trying to think back. I maybe saw the first one at some point. I kind of remember the overall plot, but it's been a while, if anything. But I haven't really gotten into these. And I like that I hadn't seen any of the Fast and Furious movies, and then we watched all of them, and those were great. So those were I'm glad we did that. So maybe this would be a good thing. I think I would give this Mission Impossibles. I'll give it an 8. I'll give it an 8. That would be kind of cool.
I would also give it an 8. I think it's going to give us a lot to talk about in each movie.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of in the same way the video game movies did, where it is that action, but there's kind of odd stuff and like, oh, it doesn't make sense they did that, and oh, wasn't that cool? I think it'll give us stuff to talk about. All right, Matt, I haven't run out of ideas, but I have run out of breath, so I'm not going to share the remainder of them. I'll save them for next year. Trust me, the ones that were left weren't very good. Really
quick, because I feel like we have to go back and forth, because you pitched an actor profile, so I had to pitch an actor profile. I'm going to now pitch a franchise to you.
Oh, God.
Yo ho, yo ho. A Pirate's Life.
Oh, I see what Pirates you did there. Lord of the Rings.
Franchise. What? Pirates of the Caribbean. Which, by the way, Pirates of the Caribbean. But if I'm talking at the place, I'll say the Caribbean. I don't know why that is, but Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh boy.
Franchise. 5 films. And if we get up to a certain amount on Patreon, we'll live stream from the ride in Orlando.
If we do make enough money, I will do that.
Yeah.
I don't know how Disney would feel about it. Matt, I'm going to be honest with you. This would be very painful. I really don't want to watch these movies. I do
I
think
don't
they
know.
would be interesting. No,
I've seen.
listen,
Yeah,
I'm not.
have
Pitch
you
me
not
on
seen
it,
them?
but
I've seen. I've
I
seen
have.
all of them.
I saw the first two.
Yeah. Hmm.
I think I saw them in theaters even back when that was a thing, and I just found them. Actually, the first one I didn't hate. The second one was pretty insufferable. I got tired of the shtick pretty quick.
Johnny Depp,
Um,
Orlando Bloom, Keira Knightley, um,
Jeffrey Rush.
Jeffrey Rush, of course.
Um, I now what does interest me is revisiting them today. Would I feel differently? Would I think they're better now than I did back then? I don't know. I think it would be a lot of me complaining, which I don't know if that's fun to listen to, but it's fun to do. So I'm not opposed to Pirates.
Hmm. Okay.
But where would you score it?
Like a 7. Like a 7,
Like a
I
seven?
think.
Yeah, I'd probably
It's similar to
do
Mission
a 7
Impossible.
as
I
well.
think it would provide us with a lot to talk about, but there's only 5 films, which kind of like is right around the target area, right where we're looking for, right in our wheelhouse. So,
Oh, for sure.
um,
The scores are in.
all right.
So again, we don't have to pick the highest scoring one, but this does help us eliminate some.
Mm-hmm.
The 3 highest scoring films in terms of our level of interest, film collections, is Dinosaurs, Harrison Ford, and Mission Impossible. Now we debate. What do you think?
I've definitely got a favorite. I've got an easy favorite. Number 2 is tough because the other 2, I like both of the ideas. My
Well, why don't?
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Why don't we, I guess, tell each other our? Can you rank them? I could probably do a ranking.
Well, why don't we do this? Let's each pick. Let's each pick our least favorite and eliminate it.
Okay.
Maybe we agree.
Okay.
So, which of those 3 is your least favorite?
I would see that's where it's tough, but it's between the kind of 2 of them fighting it out. But I think I would eliminate Mission Impossible if I had to eliminate any from that list. It's tough. It's tough, but that's probably the one I would let go.
See, now my least favorite, the one I would eliminate, is Dinosaurs. Because I think, and I don't disagree with you on Mission Impossible, my thing about Dinosaurs is I feel like, and maybe that's just because we need to talk about it more, it feels a little ill-defined, if that's a thing. It feels a little like Harrison Ford. I get the theme, and I get we're going to watch those movies, and same with Mission Impossible. With Dinosaurs, it's kind of, I don't want to say too broad, but I worry the films are going to be so different from one another that we could really just be watching any collection of films, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, that makes sense. And Dinosaurs was not my number 1. That was my number 2. My number 1 was Harrison Ford. So
I'm good with Harrison Ford.
I would be cool dropping Dinosaurs. Yeah, okay.
Well, listen, if your least favorite's Mission Impossible and mine is Dinosaurs, it sounds like we both are in favor of Harrison Ford. Let's do Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford summer. Yep.
Wow. Why? You know, Matt, honestly, if you had told me before we started that was going to be what we ended up with, oh boy, I would not have believed you.
No clue.
Not even close.
That was a surprise. Yeah, that was a surprise.
So why don't we take just a couple minutes here and actually put together the final list of what films we're watching so the folks at home can get started and you and I won't get confused.
Yes, but I will say maybe a later time we at some point have to watch VelociPastor.
Absolutely. Well, here's the thing, Matt, right?
Should be on the list somewhere. but not for the
It's
summer.
been a
But
year or two.
yeah,
Should we bring back the October scary movies?
yeah, I think that maybe that's a good place for it. Maybe that's a good place for it. Why not?
Keep it on the list. On to
Yeah.
that, Dungeons and
Okay.
Dragons. I think there's a bunch of these movies we need to watch, so let's keep
Yeah.
it on the list.
Highlight them.
So what was on your Harrison Ford list?
So the start was American Graffiti, followed by the Frisco Kid, followed by Blade Runner, followed by Patriot Games, and lastly, The Call of the Wild.
Did you say The Call of the Wild last time?
Yeah, that's his most recent movie. That's the one that he made in 2020 in the pandemic.
Gotcha.
We could also, if we have more time, I don't know how much time we'll have, we could add Blade Runner 2049. I never saw that. That was the sequel. It's long. It's almost 3-hour movie, but that came out in 2017. I don't know to what extent he's in it. He's on the poster, so I imagine he's in it quite a bit. But it might be worth adding to.
I wonder if what is his worst movie?
Ooh.
I mean, they're probably going to say, okay, here's a Vulture article. Every Harrison Ford movie performance ranked.
Yeah.
Hollywood Homicide.
What does yours say?
Hollywood Homicide.
Mine says Heroes, 1977.
The 20 worst movies starring Harrison Ford. Let's see what
he
this
was in
one
a
says.
supporting role
Random
alongside
Hearts,
Henry
Hollywood
Winkler.
Homicide. Yeah, none of this is very exciting. Okay,
Yeah,
it's a good list.
It's hard to say which one would be the worst movie or his worst performance in a movie. Oh, that wasn't even the worst one. No, that was they don't have these ranked in order. Yeah, Hollywood Random Hearts, 1999. But then Hollywood Homicide is right next to that one. Should we add that? It's a buddy cop movie from 2003.
Random Hearts?
Alongside Josh Hartnett.
Which one are you talking about?
Hollywood Homicide.
Oh, yeah, that one looks really bad.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
So maybe we'll make it our bonus. A 2003 bad film starring Harrison Ford and Josh Hartnett has got to be horrific. Let's see, it's got a 30% on Rotten Tomatoes. Well, let's stick with the 5 we got, and we can always adjust it later. No worries. Next week, Matt, we will do George Lucas's American Graffiti. Matt, where were you in '62? It's the tagline of the film.
Where wasn't I in '62? That's a better question.
Have you ever? Well, I should share some of my American Graffiti fun facts I've never seen it. I just weirdly know a lot about it. But there was a famous list of alternate titles the studio wanted him to use. And I'll share that on next week's episodes, but it's very funny. They hated the name American Graffiti. Anywho, Matt, this is exciting. Good job.
Summer of Ford.
Summer of Ford. Very exciting. Harrison Summer. Great. Well, this will be fun. We got a lot to do, folks. Make sure you watch American Graffiti for next week. And also don't forget our book picks are still out there. I've got my copies here. I'm starting to dig in. So in the next couple weeks, we'll be talking about those as well. So big stuff coming up here on Up for Debate. We appreciate you guys being here. Of course, go to our website, upfordebate.tv, or wherever you get your podcasts to listen to past episodes, get caught up, listen to our past movie collections. You can do that there, anywhere you get podcasts. You can get a hold of us at Up for Debate TV or email us upfordebatetv@gmail.com. But that is it for this evening. So we'll be back next time with some exciting throwback movie action starring our main man, Harrison Ford. But until then, he's Matt and I'm Sean. We appreciate you being here. We'll see you next time for another episode of Up for Debate.